Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and today I want to show you some really beautiful sounding chords that are very easy to play. If you can play some of the basic chords like G, B, and C, we're just going to move like one finger, and that's going to change the entire color of these chords. And I'm not just going to show you the chords, I'm actually going to show you some progressions that you can play with them, so you'll end up with a few options. You can just take these chords and play them on their own, or you can use them for like songwriting or whatever. You can play the chords and jam with a friend, so one of you plays the chords, the other one plays lead, and you can like take turns doing that. I'm actually going to be doing this all with a looper pedal, which is another option. That way I can play the chords and I can do all the jamming all by myself, which is a ton of fun. I love doing this. And, you could do that too. The whole point is to make music with a really small amount of stuff. That's one of the themes that we're going to explore today, among other things. Now, real quick, before we start, once you go through this lesson, if you like it and you want to learn this stuff yourself, I have everything that we're covering today written down on a worksheet that I'm going to put on my Patreon page. It's a printable worksheet. I'll also try to include the guitar profile. That's like the tab that I made on my computer. It'll all be up on my Patreon page. Now, with no further ado, let's get to our first couple of chord shapes. This first one is based off of G, and it sounds like this. So we're starting there with a G chord, and instead of having my index finger on the A string, I'm going to move it over to the second fret of the G string. So that way we get the thickest string, the open D string, the second fret of the G string, and then the third fret of the B string. Ignoring our middle finger, this little bit kind of feels like a D sus4 chord. I don't know if you've ever learned that, a D sus4, but our middle finger is on the thickest string at the third fret. And then I'm just leaving down my middle and index. And as far as what I'm picking, I'll go back to that first shape. The thickest string, I skip the A string, and then D, G, B. Then I just leave my index and middle, and I go, I pick through them, and then I come back and hit the G string. Now moving on, I make my first shape again, and I slide it up till my middle finger is at the 6th fret. And I go, same picking, same everything. And then I remove my pinky, and then I hit open high E string. So all in all, once again, I have all the tab, like all the stuff you see here. You can print it out on my Patreon page. You just learn it like that, keeping in mind that it's all based off of that one simple shape. Now, as far as the improvisation is concerned, we can just use the minor pentatonic scale for pretty much all of these examples. And then over time, you'll be able to build on it from there. I'm kind of just letting loose because I've been playing guitar for like 2 decades, and I have a lot of tools in my toolkit, but at the same time we all got to start somewhere. And if you want what I believe is the fastest way to be able to express yourself on lead guitar without having to learn a ton of stuff up front, you know, having to like memorize all these things and then play. You know, that doesn't really make sense to me. If you want my way to learn how to solo that's actually enjoyable and motivating, I do have a method for that. And if you download my lead guitar ebook, it's completely free for all my subscribers. I'll put a link in the corner. I will show you what's up as far as that's concerned. I'll just put a link in the corner and down below, completely free for all my subscribers. Anyways, in that particular case, the simple thing that I would do to solo on it is for the first two chords, I would play those notes. So on the A string, O, 2, and then on the next string, O, 2, and on the next string, O, 2. That's the E minor pentatonic scale, but we've really chopped it down, keeping it simple. I'll put a diagram here for you. And then for the second chords, for like the chord number 3 and 4, you switch up to this. So 3, 5 on the A string, 3, 5 on the D string, and then 3, 5 on the G string. Once again, it's the 3x3 box, and I go over this in a few lessons. Like I said, just check out my lead guitar ebook, and you'll definitely, I'll be able to help you with all this stuff. Anyways, our second progression goes like this. And to play that, this one, if you've ever like learned Imagine by John Lennon, it's actually pretty similar to that. We're starting off with C major 7. So you just take a C chord and you remove your index finger. And I'm strumming all the strings, starting at the A string, and I'm strumming all the way down, and then I just pluck the A string. So like down, root, down, root. And then I'm switching almost to like this easy F, but I'm not adding my index. So I'm basically just taking my C chord, I move my middle finger down one string. So now it's on the G string, and I put my pinky on the 3rd fret of the D string, just underneath my ring finger. I'm curling my fingers enough so that the B and E strings can remain open. And for that one, we go. So we strum, starting at the A string, then we pluck the A string, then we strum again, and then I'm playing the thinnest string. And you really want to be gentle when you strum this one to make it sound good, you know? Makes it sound really dreamy. And for that one, sticking with the 3x3 box, we can just play it right here. So 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7 on the A string, D string, and G string. Like I said before, you know, when I'm giving these examples, I'm kind of just having fun and just going all over the place, but that will do it. That will do the trick. Anyways, our next progression goes like this. And that one is based on like a D minor shape. You know, you have your D minor chord, and then I'm just gonna add my ring finger to it, to the 3rd fret of the D string. So I actually get this shape right here. and I'm removing my index. You could call this D minor over F, or like D minor 9 over F would probably be an accurate name for it. Either way, starting on the D string, 3, 2, 3, and then the open string. And I'm just arpeggiating. I'm just picking through the strings, going all the way up, and then I come back down. So the rhythm for that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I do that again. And then I'm gonna switch to an A sus4 shape. So for that, I'm leaving my pinky down, my ring finger goes to the 2nd fret of the G string, and my middle finger goes to the 2nd fret of the D string. Same picking. And I just pick each one of those 2 times, going back and forth between them. And as far as what notes to play, like for the lead element here, we're just going to take that 3x3 box and we're going to play it right here. So we're at the 10th fret. On the A string, once again, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12. That gives you D minor pentatonic. Something kind of fun that you can do with it is you can add a couple notes to it. You can go on the thickest string, 10, 12, and then on the next string, you can go 9, 10, 12, and on the next string, 9, 10, 12. So you can add the 9th fret underneath the top, the D string and G string. That gives us Dorian mode. I'll put a diagram for it here, and you can try that out. Like I said before, soloing is like, I could make like 1,000 lessons on this stuff, right? It's a huge, huge topic. I just want to give you some quick things that you can pair up with these progressions that are gonna sound good right out of the box. Anyways, that is all I have for you today. If you want, you can check out my Patreon page. I'll put a link down below with a worksheet with all the stuff, the diagrams, the tab. I'll put the guitar profile with it as well. If you haven't grabbed your copy of my free lead ebook, there's a link for that down below, possibly in the corner, depending on where I put it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified of future lessons, and it'll also be helping me out with like the YouTube algorithm and all that stuff. It's going to be great. And I just love to hear from you. So you could also leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.